Okay, previously we discussed about the different types of intelligences, okay, the different theories on intelligence. Now this time, we will emphasize the different learning styles, okay, and hopefully at the end of the session, you will be able also to find out what your learning style is, okay, as a part of our activity. Our objective is of course to distinguish, okay, the different learning styles of learning, and to realize this goal, or I mean this objective, okay, we shall have the following session outline. We'll discuss about concepts on learning styles, the impact of learning style to education, to teaching, and the different categories of learning style. Okay, let's start with the first one, the concepts about learning styles. Okay, big session question number 1. Why is it a must to investigate on the style of learning of a student? That's the conclusion. If you don't know the learning style, hindi siya matututo. Okay, like there are some learners who are visual. Yung gusto nila nakikita nila yung pagmumukha mo habang nagdi-discuss ka. Lukluk mo kingarap din. Okay, meron naman yung mga estudyante, learners, na gusto habang sinasabi mo, meron pa yung nakasulat dun sa board. Then address that. That's why when we deliver a lesson, okay, when we deliver when we execute a curriculum, be sure that you also vary the instructional materials. Baka naman, pag in-assess yan, puro visuals. Okay? Wala yung pang auditory. Okay? Wala yung hahawakan or wala yung mga materials that will make them move. Okay? Assess also the materials you use because this will affect the type of learning they will gain. So, for visual learners, kung marami kang visual aids na nilagay dyan, silang matututo. Paano naman yung verbal? Okay? The verbal learners, yung gusto nila din i-discuss, hindi lang visual, hindi lang picture ang gusto nilang nakikita. Okay? Burida kakit na numakanan mo di-discuss. Visual din pala yun, no? I've read something na kapag ang bata daw gustong nakikinig sa'yo habang nakikita yung pagmumukha mong napakaganda. Zhang ka masyadong kagandahan. Okay? They learn better if they could see your facial expression plus your emphasis, your gestures. Okay? May mga ganyan. Meron naman ayaw yung nakikita yung pagmumukha mo, gusto niya lang naririnig ka. Okay? Itang makaduko lang, pakramdam. Paboren mo lang. Do not force them to look at your face. Okay? But make sure they are learning. Baka naman ayaw niya makita yung pagmumukha mo dahil naiinis lang siya sa'yo, tapos hindi naman siya natututo. Okay? Upon assessment, nakita mo kahit hindi ka niya tinitignan, perfect score, 9 out of 10, o kaya 10 out of 10, then go ahead. Ayan. Pwede yun. That's possible. Okay, so what we mean here is that respect, okay, the learner's style of learning. Do not force them to learn a specific way in your own way. Okay, teach the way they learn. Do not teach the way you want to teach. Okay. Okay. 2 common answers. Okay. Usually, for those questions, first is to choose appropriate materials and techniques. Katulad na sinabi ko, pag visual learners sila, and then provide something about visual. If they are kinesthetic learners, okay, use materials that will make them move. Okay, pa-music ka. Okay, and then let them dance. Okay, if it's about dancing, of course. Okay, next answer is to guide and to teach them using an approach they are comfortable with. Okay, atin yung H na may latiya mo. Okay, to guide and to teach them using an approach they are comfortable with. Okay, like what you have mentioned, we differ our strategy. We differ our ways on teaching. Why? Because we want to address all learning styles. Sir, makananita, king metong lesson, nalaliwa ko style of teaching? No, hindi naman ganon. Ibig sabihin, pag ngayong araw na to, more on visual ka, the next day, pwedeng verbal ka naman. The next day, okay, pwedeng yung kinesthetic learners naman i-address mo. So, they could relate. Everyone could relate. You vary. Hindi lang you stick to one. I mean is, you vary your materials. Okay? You vary your materials. Eto, sa assignment. Bakit daw yung assignment? Sinulat mo na, pinost mo na doon, sasabihin mo pa, babasahin mo pa sa mga bata. Kasi meron yung auditory. Gusto nila, naririnig nila para maintindihan. Okay, meron naman yung visual, gusto nila, binabasa nila para maintindihan. That's why when you post the assignment or any activity, pinost mo na, sinulat mo na, babasahin mo pa. Okay, explain mo pa. Pero wag niyong gagawin na ito ang PowerPoint, yung binabasa niyo lang and then next slide. Basa niya mo and then next slide. That's not your role as a teacher. Your role is not only to read what's the content of the slide, it's to discuss what is the content of the slides. Kaya kapalid ako buntok na yung minsan ding teacher sa makanyan. Blam, tinuro nila, binasa dyan king PowerPoint. O temo niya, binya karinganak yan yaring pisab yan. Okay? Noon tita mo, nung basan ko lang rin PowerPoint ang gagamitin ko as of the moment, bakit hindi ko na lang ibigay sa inyo at kayo na lang magbasa? Okay? You can do that. Magaling na ka porket binasa. Ikaw ng best in reading, ma'am, sir. Okay? Bigyan ng medal yan. Yeah? It's not like that. Your role is to facilitate and not to read. Okay? What is in the PowerPoint? You may read for emphasis. Okay? To address these learners. Pero kung yun lang ang gagawin mo, magbasa lang, tapos next slide ka na agad, nang walang input, walang insight, ay let's now have a definition of learning styles. So it says here, learning styles are behaviors that serve as relatively stable indicators of how learners perceive, interact with, and respond to the learning environment. Okay, by Keefe and Monk, 1986. So it's about, like what we are always saying, okay, when we say learning style, it's how they process information. Ayan, perception, perceiving about what you are teaching. And I repeat, the way they process, like what we have studied, because of individual differences, differ from learner to learner. Okay? Huwag mong isipin na si student A pare-pareho ng kapareho ng perception or perceiving processing, okay? Ni student letter B, ni student letter C, because we came from different backgrounds, cultural, family, education, environmental backgrounds. Therefore, we will perceive things differently. Okay, kaya nga ito ha, sa kwento, sa mga stories daw, pag nagkwento ka, and then you would ask for the mood, okay? Kunyari, nagpakita ka ng parol. And then, ano ang nararamdaman nyo kapag nakakakita kayo ng isang parol? Huwag mong ipilit na pag ang parol, in general, lahat masaya. Okay, baka naman yung bata na yan, experience niya na mismong Pasko, namatay ang nanay niya. Na pag nakakakita siya ng parol, ang mood na naisip niya malungkot. Tapos ipipilit mo, malungkot ka, parol yan. Naka mo. Kaya ka maniwala ako, lumuwal ka. Kaya ba, it's about the mood. It's about, you ask them, you solicit, what they call this one, you solicit an explanation from them. Okay, you solicit opinion from them, then let them. If it's about mood of the story, do not force. It's something personal. Pag mood ang pinag-uusapan about the story, lesson about the story, it's something personal. Okay? Next. Still about learning style, concepts about learning style. It's the way in which learner begins to concentrate, process, and retain new and difficult information. Okay, like at the moment. Okay, kahit hindi ko kayo tanungin isa-isa, for sure, yung iba sa inyo natatandaan pa yung ibang pinagde-discuss natin. Okay, during the preliminary shift. Yung iba sa inyo, binaon na sa baul. Pero nandito yung concept na there is individual differences. When we facilitate learning, we consider all types of intelligences, all types of skills. Okay, may mga ganyan. Meron naman yung iba na binaon na sa baul, nilak na pa na, binaon na, tigtugan na pang gas. May ginang abo, tang alana. Okay, kasi yari na rin yung exam. So parang short term. So iba-iba tayo. But, I repeat, and I would like to emphasize, kung ganyan ang mga estudyante, pa-iba-iba, what do we do as teachers? Kung short term ang memory niya, hayaan mo muna, do not force. Okay? Memory ni ta, control niya. Choking kilubutak nita, that's something relating to the brain. We cannot control that. And kung short term, pasukan mo ng drills. Pag sinabing drills, yung araw-araw ginagawa. At to such point na araw-araw niyang ginagawa dahil short-term ang memory niya, until such point that you remember the concept. Yun ang ibig kong sabihin. Wala man yung mental computation, but you learn the concept because of it becomes crystallized in your memory. Ayun yung tinatawag sa language na pag na-crystallize na daw. I mean, na-fossilize na. Andun na siya. It's stick. Dalawa yan. It's either yung ma-fossilize is yung mali or yung ma-fossilize ay yung tama. Doon tayo sa tama, syempre. Like for Kapampangan, anong fossilized features in their language? Yung letter H. Okay? Because in our language, we do not use letter H in Kapampangan language. Huwag niyo sasabihin na wala tayong letter H. Hindi lang tayo gumagamit ng letter H in Kapampangan. Walang salita na may letter H. Okay. Another definition, it's the preferential way in which the students absorb, process, comprehend, and retain information. So almost similar with the previous definition. So it's about the preference. It's about how they would like to learn. It's about their method of learning. Okay, in general, we define learning style as a unique way a person approaches learning and studying. Okay, should we block them to use this approach? If they learn better in that approach, then let them. Okay? Katulad sa inyo, pag nagre-review, yung gusto, may gagawa pa sila ng reviewer. Kahit na meron na module, they will create their outline. If they learn better using that, then let them. Meron naman yung gusto, kahit walang outline, basahin lang yung module, may pictographic memory sila, no? Like, photographic memory. Sana all may talent na gano'n, no? May skill na ganyan. Tinignan lang yung libro, aba, alam na lahat ng content. Talino yun eh. It's something relating to gift, okay? Okay, models of learning style suggest that instruction must be matched in how individual rather than the group learns. I repeat, it's about instruction matching or fitting with the learning style of the learner, not the group, not the class. Okay, kaya nga sinasabi ko sa inyo sa isang klase, imposible naman na sa isang lesson, 101 na teaching strategy ang gagamitin natin. Like, kung 45 yan, 45 ba na teaching strategy ang gagamitin natin sa isang araw? No. Diyos ko, pagal mo na mo. Ne? At least, yung sa isang lesson, meron ka ng pang visual na material, meron kang pang auditory. That would suffice. And then the next day, doon ka naman sa kinesthetic. And then for the musically inclined. Then siguro naman in 1 week, may 15 kang teaching strategy and different instructional materials that match those learning styles. That would be enough for the entire school year. Pero ito ang kasalanan, ito ang isang pagkakamali. Yung isa lang ang ginagamit. Like lecture, and then you have the visual, lecture, visual, lecture, visual, lecture, visual. Okay, paano naman yung kinesthetic? Paano naman yung mga active learners na gusto ng hands-on experience? Okay? The nature of learning styles are as follows. It says here, each person prefers different learning styles and techniques. So do not force them to be someone else. If that's their technique, that's their learning style, respect, and then address. Next, learning styles group common ways, okay, that people learn. Okay? Kunyari sa isang klase, kung may 45 kang estudyante, for sure naman dyan, meron yung mga learning style na pare-pareho. Okay? So at the beginning of the class, of the session, alamin mo na yung mga learning styles nila. Paano malalaman yan, sir? Meron tayong mga test na ginagawa. It could be available in the internet for you to know, okay, the learning styles of your learners. Kung visual ba sila? Ayun, kung puro visual, nagkataon na maraming visual dyan. 45 sila kunyari at 34 ang visual. Aba, emphasize more on visuals. But do not neglect, okay, the others. What I mean is that be dominant on visual materials, visual approach. Okay. Next, everyone has a mix of learning styles. So let's say, for instance, if you are a visual learner, you cannot say that you are purely a visual learner. Meron kasing combination tang visual ni auditory pa. At naman tang flexible. All types of learning styles at syunangan kaya. Tahimik, mangye, makapag-concentrate yan. Mamangan niya, ako pag mamangan ko habang mag-review, I cannot concentrate. Okay? Lalo na nung madanap ka. So, mangan ko pa, after I finish my food, then I will review. Pero itong mag-review habang mamangan, I cannot. Nang minsan po tapapangan kaya pa yung papel na itang re-review ko. Pataka lang naman. Okay, ala namang makanta. But I repeat, it depends. Kayo at the moment, for sure you are already in college, alam nyo na kung anong learning style nyo. Okay? Kasama dyan yung oras kung kailan ka mas, what do you mean this? Mas parang sponge ang iyong isip na isang basahan lang and then you already get it. For instance, I'm writing for my dissertation at the moment. Anong oras ako nagsusulat? From 10 to 12. Okay, yung gabi. Pag umaga ako nagsulat, wala akong masusulat. Lesson here is that make your learners realize their learning style. Okay? Pwede bang i-present yan, Karela? So, yes. Jenny, balo mo, visual ka. Okay? Kasi makanyan. So, dapat ay gagawan mo pag mag-review kasi visual ka. Okay? Dapat ngayon ka kingarap kasi visual ka. Okay? For you to understand kasi ay taha ka based on my assessment. Okay? Okay, let's move to the next. There is no right. One may use different styles in different circumstances. Lalo na nung flexible ka. Of course. Okay? Ito naman yung mga flexible learners na kahit ano yung gamitin na style, material ni teacher, whether visual, whether verbal, kaya niya matuto. Okay? So ano na to mga expert learners, no? They are expert. Kaya nilang i-adjust ang sarili na. Hands-on, mapa-hands-on yan, mapa-memorization, kaya nila. Okay, next. There is no right mix of learning styles, nor there is a fixed learning style. Okay. Learning style may also change. Ayan ang isang nature. Now, pwede nung bata ka, visual ka, and then suddenly, nung mapapansin mo, na yung iba-iba pa ang uri ng visual ha. Meron yung visual na tinitignan yung mga objects. Meron yung visual about reading. That's also visual. Okay? Meron yung visual naman through observation. That's also visual. Pero habang tumatanda ka, hindi ka na masyadong nagre-rely sa mga pictures. So nababago ang learning style mo na gusto mo na puro explanation. Okay? You want to hear an explanation from a teacher. Meron kasi yung nagbabasa, hindi niya maintindihan, pero pag diniscuss, pinaliwanag ng isang nagsasalita, maintindihan niya. May ganyan. Okay? That's what I mean. It changes. Okay? Learning styles also have the tendency to change over time. There is no fixed learning style. Okay, there is no best learning style. And there is no bad learning style. Ito yung sinasabi natin na traditionally, conventionally, kapag may earphone ka habang nagre-review, ay, okay. Meron din, ito ha, depending on personality, meron yung gustong nagre-review na siya lang mag-isa, makapag-concentrate siya. Meron naman yung gusto may kasama siya. Group study. Okay, factors that affect learning style. Number 1, heredity. Next, upbringing. Ayan naman, kung sakaling hindi puwasa rin sa standard sa mga magulang mo, the way they raise you, kunyari binantayan ka naman nila, tinutukan ka nila, kubuha sila ng tutor. Pag ka pa naman may biyasa, my goodness. Okay? Meron yung mga magulang kasi natutok, no? Okay? Na sa tinagal-tagal ng panahon, dahil tutok sila sa iyo, yung learning style mo na-develop na eto na yung sistema na na-inject nila sa iyo. The activities they are doing or the habits they are doing becomes automatic. Yung nandun na, permanent. It could also be environmental. Okay? Environmental demands. Example, sa school, pag magulo ang klase, same with the place, yung lugar kung saan kayo nagre-review. Environmental. Ayan, yung learning style ko, lights, dito lang na nakatapat dun sa ginagawa ko. So you should know your learning style too. Individuals perceive and process information differently. That's a general concept. So therefore, if they perceive information differently, we can classify them into two. Meron daw dalawang example of perceivers. The first is the concrete one, concrete perceivers, and the abstract perceivers. Pag sinabing concrete, ito yung you get the information by doing it. Okay? By sensing it. Pag hinahawakan, nakikita. Ayan, it's concrete. Meron naman yung abstract perceivers na kahit hindi nila nakikita, by means of analyzing only, okay, by means of observing. At pag sinabi nating observing, it's not only using the eyes. You can observe using your mind. Okay, we can create pictures using our mind. So that's what we call abstract perceiver. Now assess yourself. Saan ba kayo? Okay, concrete or abstract perceivers. Next, active versus reflective processors. Okay, because perceiving or learning styles may be through perceiving and processing. Active processors make sense of information by immediately using it versus reflective processors who think and reflect on the new information. So you raised an essential question and then this learner will reflect and will need time to reflect. Let them. Okay, because they are reflective processors. They are putting everything into a nutshell. Okay, they are summarizing everything into their mind before they react. Ayan, active processors versus reflective processors. Okay, from the previous dichotomy, when say dichotomy yung dalawang classification natin, okay, active, reflective, we have concrete and abstract. Learning style, therefore, involves two processes, perceiving and processing. You perceive, okay, na kinuha mo siya, you encode it, and then you process the information. Okay, impact of learning style to education. Eto, why do we need to understand learning style? First, educators must not only focus on the conventional skills of analysis, reasoning, and problem solving. We also need to focus on the learning styles. Sinasabi natin, facilitating learner-centered teaching. Our focus is the learner, so you should know their learning style. That's one specific strategy of making teaching learner-centered. Okay? Facilitator ka, you need to be there to monitor, to know their learning styles. Na baka naman yung activity, same purpose no activity, no assessment, pero ibang paraan naman, ibang kulay. Kumbaga sa adobo, di ba? Hindi nila gusting masyadong maasim na adobo. O di lutuan mo ng ibang variety ng adobo. May iba't ibang uri pa ng adobo, di ba? Huwag mong ihapag yung ayaw nila. Okay? Like sa mga dishes, kahit na pare-parehong gusto natin ng menudo, iba't iba pa rin yung gusto nating ingredients na nilalagay dyan. Okay? That's what we mean by learning style. Okay? Teaching methods should be varied, and you know that about that. Teachers should have a good feel and knowledge of learning. Teachers should have a good feel and knowledge of learning. Ito just to share. Teachers should have a good feel and knowledge about learning. Ito yung sinasabi ko. Hindi porket nakapasa ka at LPT ang title mo, pagkagaling-galing mo na. That's why I am advising you after college, tuturo na kayo, pursue master's degree, doctorate degree. Okay, why study learning styles? The importance of studying learning style lies in making the students aware or know what their learning style is, of course. Okay, that's the purpose. Okay, so when you know about learning styles, unang araw pa lang alamin nyo na, bigyan na sila ng test for you to know their learning styles. Maraming available sa internet na examination in order for you to know the learning style. Last, categories of learning styles. Number 1, we have the VARC model. Number 2, we have the 7 learning styles. Number 3, we have KOLB'S basic learning styles. And number 4, we have Honey and Mumford learning styles. Let's start with VARC. Okay, VARC model of Neil Fleming. Visual, auditory, reading and writing, and kinesthetic. At hindi ko na kailangan i-discuss isa-isa yan kasi kanina ang dami na nating examples. Value in visuals, more on pictures. Okay? Auditory, they would like to hear from you lecturing. Okay? Reading and writing, they would like to read in order to learn. They need to write it down in order for them to learn it. Ang learning style nila is reading and writing. Okay, kinesthetic, you need to move. Ayan yung hands-on. Okay, na pag sinabi mong paraan ng pagluluto, hindi mo lang dinidiscuss, hindi mo lang sinabi, kailangan magluto siya para malaman niya yung paraan ng pagluluto. At kailangan yan in some topics, like for dancing. Ayan, 7 learning styles. Parang ito rin yung sa multiple intelligences. Okay, it could be spatial, oral, okay, verbal, physical, logical, solitary, and social. Social learning style, interpersonal. It could be logical, okay, or mathematical learners in math. Okay, physical, kinesthetic, verbal. Pareho lang nung nauna, itong first 4. Dagdag lang yung 5, 6, and 7. Okay, next. KOLB'S basic learning styles, the 4 stages. Wow, 4 stages. But I repeat, since we're talking about stages, this is a cycle. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Pero sabi dito, pwede kahit saan dyan ka mag-umpisa. Hindi naman ibig sabihin, these are 4 stages. You begin with number 1, 2, 3, 4. No, you can start anywhere and then go somewhere. But we would like to discuss these 4 stages one by one. So first stage in KOLB'S basic learning styles is the concrete experience. Putting learned material into practice. Okay? Parang pareho siya nung concrete perceivers. Like you perceive it, put it into practice. Okay? Reflective observation, analyzing objectively the outcome. Okay? Hindi yung after observing it, you make an analysis. Next, abstract conceptualization. It's similar din sa pinakita ko kanina, the comparison between the two, dichotomy, kung natatandaan nyo. Okay. So it's similar to this, okay? And I repeat, since it's a cycle, ang sinabi ni KOLB'S, you may start anywhere, even if it's a cycle. It does not necessarily mean you start with 1, dito ka agad, number 2, 3, and 4, okay? It's like a cycle on how we develop our learning styles, okay? In number 4, of course, yung pinaka higher skill, active experimentation, trying to find solutions to problems because you need this 3 in order to gain this one. Okay, KOLB'S concept of learning style. You could be a converger, Okay, sino ba tong Converger na to at ano ang learning style niya? This person relies mainly on abstract conceptualization and active experimentation, like abstraction of ideas, which is the opposite of Diverger. Okay, this person is more on concrete experience. Okay, I repeat, Converger, abstract. Okay, Diverger, concrete. Those are your keywords. Next is assimilator versus accommodator. The assimilator predominantly uses abstract conceptualization and reflection. Parang pare-pareho lang naman ang ano nila, classification nila kung napapansin nyo. It's about abstract conceptualization, abstract thinking, and then concrete experience. Okay? We are showing different models, okay, different learning styles, okay? But still, if you're going to analyze all of these models or teorya na mula sa mga tao ito, parang isa lang naman ang gusto nilang sabihin. It could be abstract, using thinking, or yung ma-experience mo hands-on, concrete one. Okay, accommodator, this person uses concrete experience and active experimentation for them to learn. So saan kayo dyan? Converger or Diverger? Assimilator or accommodator? That you need to experience it first before you gain understanding. That's what we call accommodator. Okay, Honey and Mumford learning styles. Apat din. We have the activist, the reflector, the theorist, and the pragmatist. Okay, the activist enjoys experience. Kaya nga, active. Okay, you learn better if you experience. At yung makikita mo pag pinalabas mo yung mga bata, they will do an experiment. Activist, they enjoy experience. Reflector enjoys reflecting. They are not so much with dancing, with PE. Okay, next, theories. Good at making connection and abstracting ideas from experience. Ayan, ay yung magaling sa mga predictions, no? And sa classroom naman, yung pinakita mo lang yung concept, picture lang, no? Okay, they are good at making connections. Next, pragmatists, they enjoy planning stage. Planning lang. Okay. Yung pragmatist, ito yung mga, naman saying kasing pragmatic ka, it's a practical, it's something, it's synonymous to the word practical. Like when you solve problems, doon ka sa practical way. In which you could save time, in which you could save effort. Okay? Pragmatist. So they enjoy planning stage. They love planning. Okay, Li-Fang, Zhang, and Sternberg's learning style. First is cognitive-centered learning style. It's about the cognition. Okay? The way of processing is through processing of information, through the mind. Ayan. Abstraction then, reflection using the mind. Yung isa naman is a personality. Okay, ito naman yung sinasabi ko kanina. You could be interpersonal, you could be intrapersonal. Yung gusto mo mag-isa ka lang o yung gusto mo mag-group ka. It depends on your personality. Okay, okay. Activity-centered learning style, assessor of both cognitive and personality traits. It's a combination of two. Okay, cognitive and personality. So again, those are the different examples of learning styles. Now,